I started with the cheapest heater and solar panel combo on Amazon. I then got the cheapest power supply that I could possibly get. There is some potential with this cheap heater and this cheap power supply, but we got to be able to get it charged up, which is why I also went with the cheapest solar panel I could get. And this one's supposed to be a little bit more significant. I believe it's 60 watts. It should be 60 watts. All the reviews have hyped it up, saying that it's one of the best cheap ones. $50. I don't think I found a cheaper one where it included some additional cables that should work with this. We'll get this unboxed, take a look at it, and get some thoughts on if we can make this work. Right out the box, it fits pretty nicely. I'm assuming that's the outputs, and then these are all our different types of outputs that we can possibly use. This is a little bit strange. This doesn't have that glossy glass finish to it. This kind of feels almost like plastic or Kevlar. But this folds out into, wow, this is massive. Got some lanyard clips. Instruction manual. This is massive. 6 panels. Assuming we only get a couple watts from each panel, that's still a lot better than the other setup. Let's plug this in. See if we get absolutely any power from it. I'm going to use the single one, and then one of these should work. Go with the smaller one. Power on our setup. And we don't have any watts going in there, despite having a little bit of ambient light coming in through the window. Oh, it's doing something. It looked as though it started charging. Oh, there we go. So it's picking up something. It's picking up about a watt with this ambient light. Let's move this closer to the window. I see some potential here. A little bit of a unique observation. I know I've seen this mentioned on a few solar panels. With the 4 panels exposed, it doesn't seem to do anything. As I exposed this last one, it's picking up the ambient lighting and it's starting to charge. I hope this isn't going to be an issue. We'll test this out on the window. At the window, I've got the one solar panel getting a fair bit of light. That actually turned off. One solar panel getting some light isn't charging. 2 solar panels getting some light. Oh, looks like it's trying to charge. 3 solar panels getting some light. Move this up to the upper window. 4 solar panels getting some light. It's registering 1.2 watts. And then if we've got all open, 3 watts. I'll have to find another way to set this up. This window isn't large enough. 5.5 watts. Get that in a little bit closer. 4.1, 4.5. I wonder if these solar panels are just as terrible as the other one, where we get about 1 watt per panel. We'll do a slightly better test. I will take this out to the balcony and actually lay it flat. $10 watts, 10.4 watts on average. So direct sun only registering about 10 watts, about 2 watts per panel. Oh, it's windy. It's gonna topple. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not as bad as the 30 watts that could only generate about 1 watt, but this should be getting about 50, and we're getting about 10. I'll try to do a setup downstairs where it's actually a little bit shaded. Downstairs we get a little bit of sunlight through this basement window. Upstairs, when I was mucking about with it, I got about 21 watts. It has to be directly at a perfect angle. As I change the angle on this, it's not impressive. I'm getting about 1.3 to 1.5 watts. At different angles, it goes up, it goes down. I don't think it's the worst thing. I think if the solar panels had that glossy glass covering, it might be refracting light better. Unfortunately, the way it's set up, it isn't doing a whole lot. Try a few different angles down here, see if I could stretch it up a little bit more. This is a bigger window than upstairs. The panels all fit, but we've got all sorts of different angles working with it here. And it doesn't really quite hold itself very well right up against the glass. A little bit brighter, a little bit better angle. Obviously, I've got about 3 panels in the shade. I don't know how the panels are connected. Maybe it's in series where if one isn't receiving light, if I flip it and the end panel gets the majority of light, it eventually starts coming down the cable. So I think it is in series versus parallel. I think if these panels were in parallel, we'd probably get a little bit more energy. At about 2 watts on average. It's charging. 2 watts an hour for a 228 watt hour battery. It'll take a while. But I was very optimistic when I saw the 22 watt average at the right angle. So there's a fair bit of potential. So we're looking at about $160 for the battery. $30 for the heater, which we really got almost completely refunded. And $50 for the 60 watt solar pad, which I'm actually, you know what, I can't say I'm disappointed because something else out there was closer to the $99 range. I feel as though these are almost double and triple as you get over the 20 watt panels. You can get some for your doorbell cameras and your security cameras that use the USB-C. I just need a way better spot. Those windows are also fairly dusty. And I gotta find a way to hang them higher. Obviously the lower section isn't getting the best light. We've got these bars blocking a couple of them. But that'll be interesting. I might actually get out there and give that one a polish, but I gotta find a way to hang that up there. I don't have any suction cups to try to keep it up. That's what she said. All right, I'll try a couple more things here. I found this spot on the floor where I've got fairly decent sunlight. I've seen it spike to about 3 watts. The issue with this solar panel is trying to find a spot where all 6 panels get complete sunlight. If I cover up any panel partially, that drops down to like 1 watt, even if it's just one panel. I think we're getting there, guys. You know what? I think we will be able to solve this heating solution downstairs in the basement. I don't think we need to spend any more money. I think we just need to get a better way to get some sunlight on these and set them up on that window. That is a pretty big window. Before we completely wrap up the video, I'll just go through another thing I noticed here. It's actually a nice little red light to show that the panel is powered. It's pretty cool. I'm assuming you could charge your phone, which would probably be a better option. You've got the USB-C and whatever that regular USB is. We've got 1.8 watts coming in, spikes to about 2 and a bit. 65 watts out. We've got our little heater going. I've had this guy going for about 5 minutes now, just to see if it catches on fire since I'm here. It is pretty warm. I think this is the best performance I've seen from this, coupled with this. If this works, this wouldn't be a bad little setup for this basement office for just about 200 bucks. That's pretty good. You know what? I'll keep testing. I'll keep trying some stuff. I'll get there one day. And I'll be back to show you guys the results. It's not that bad as a little foot heater under a desk. It's probably been running for about 5 minutes, and it actually feels, I can feel the difference down here for sure. When my feet are right here, that is so much better. So in an emergency situation, I would say it's better than nothing. Way better than nothing. Finally, I've got a day where I could really test this panel. I've got a couple of these hooks from the dollar store. So I've got them hooked up there. They're getting really good light. And we're getting fairly decent wattage. I've seen it spike to almost 20. And I completely drained this, so we'll see how well it does. It's already got a bar up there. So I'll give it a few hours and see where we're at. A few hours later, still going pretty steady. We're up to 3 bars, charging on the 3rd bar, so we'll be at about 60%. It's not bad for one day. It's a lot better than the other setup. So I think as an emergency little heating system, I think this is pretty doable. So fully charged. There's no more sunshine outside, so it stopped charging. It just kind of gives this reading of 0, and then sometimes it turns itself off, or if there's like a little bit of sunset light coming through, it kind of turns itself on. I'll just unplug this for now. And then it should shut itself off in a couple of minutes. So someone had asked what my thoughts were on this, like what my final thoughts were. I think it's a good deal. 167 Canadian, roughly about 120 to 130 US dollars, and then with the $50 solar panel that's way more efficient. Under $200, just about $200 Canadian, because we did get the refund on the heater. So about 150 US for a decent power supply. It'll run that heater for a few hours, and if it's charging while it's running it, it'll probably give another hour or two extra. And my laptop's pretty low power, so it'll probably do that for at least 8 hours. So all in all, fairly good deal, probably one of the better purchases. I'm very impressed with the number of features on this, especially the charger, the wireless charging. I do kind of wish this had a plug or something, but I could get one of those at the dollar store. And then the assortment of plugs and USB chargers, pretty good stuff. Verdict, highly recommend. Until the next one.